It needs all the things. Give it all the things.
Oh, perfect. You nailed it.
You can't bend physics. What you can do is write better software.
And you're doing the MPLS changes or BDP changes. May God be with you, right?
I always feel like I'm just a little fish in a sea of big fish.
I've got a nested 6-node vSAN.
Oh, guys. People, quite often think that they don't have anything to bring to the table when they absolutely do.
Everybody should. Anybody in IT that skips the phone stuff, it just hasn't earned it.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question.
On demand.
Correct.
Welcome to a special edition GigaCast. The gang's all here.
Oh, yeah.
What is this, episode 20? Holy cow. Tony, we made it to 20.
I know.
Oh my gosh. So, this is our special 1-year anniversary episode. I'm calling this the anniversary, even though it maybe was in July. I don't really remember. But we've done a year of this. High five virtual to Tony and myself. And I thought, well, I'm technically probably not going to make it to VMworld this year, so I thought, well, let's get a group of people together who are going to VMworld and talk about stuff. Maybe they'll share some secrets. Maybe they won't. We'll see. I know their jobs are on the line if they break the law, so we'll see what we can get out of them. So I'm just going to go off the video and introduce people to y'all. And y'all can say hi. Tony and I are going to try to moderate this between the two of us and tell you guys when you can talk. Otherwise, we end up with the massive everybody talking at once and nobody understands what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So let's just this is going to be really loose. We're going to talk about some VMworld stuff, and I'm sure we'll fill this time really, really fast. So we have a veteran podcast guest, Mr. Tim Davis. First of all, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Tim, you are officially in your new job now. How's it going?
It's going really, really well, man. It's doing so much cool stuff over there, and I'm really excited to be here.
Cool. And you're not presenting at VMworld this year, right?
I do not have any sessions, but I will be working a table at TAM Day, and I've got a booth duty, so I'll be wearing my my nice high heels.
Cool.
So come see me. I'll be dressed pretty.
Yeah, and so if you have questions, go bug Tim in the expert booth area.
Totally, please do.
Of course, I'm in the top. I'm not going to VMworld. You can ignore me. And then Tony, what's going
on? Not a whole lot. I mean, I will be first time Tech Field Day delegate at VMworld, so that's pretty exciting. Just
cool.
Got the news today, so it's pretty interesting. Yeah, a lot of sessions lined up, and of course parties. Lots of stuff going on.
There's always that. Next, we have Lord Nigel.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
So, for those who don't know, explain why you were called Lord Nigel.
Oh, geez. Okay. I don't. No, I don't. I thought I had it with me on my table, but so I own a piece of property in Scotland. Anyone that owns a piece of property can officially carry the title of Lord. So, end of story.
That's more than everybody knew about you.
Yeah, so, there's a bumper sticker that goes with it, so it's got to be true.
You have a bumper sticker?
Yeah, it's a whole kit that comes with it when you purchase a piece of land. It's pretty funny. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not on a laptop. It's hidden, in the packaging.
Let's not cake the truth.
Let's not take that out. Yeah, exactly.
Let's tell them how much land you own.
I believe 1 by 1 square foot.
Yeah, so it's like, you could cut it with a pair of scissors.
Doesn't matter. Lord Nigel is Lord Nigel.
It's all good. I'm going to go over there and buy out everybody in like a 5-foot radius. So.
And then you can have a campsite.
Exactly. Enough for, maybe 7 foot. I'll get a sleeping bag in there. Enough for a camp stove. We'll be good.
And our special mystery guest tonight is another veteran returning, Mr. Ariel Sanchez.
Hello.
Welcome back, Ariel.
Thank you so much for having me.
It actually worked out because we had Mr. Sean O'Dell bail out on us at the last minute, so you get to take his shoes.
I'll do that.
Do your best Sean O'Dell impression.
No, I like him.
You're going to need much fancier pants than you have on right now.
I like him, and I still want him to like me. So no, I'll pass.
And that is my family in the background making noise for anybody who heard that. So, all right. Almost last but not least, my brother. For those of you who aren't aware, Mr. Heath Johnson. How are you, sir?
Greetings. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
So
I wonder how many people didn't know that. Like, they just like, oh, those guys have the same last name.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Nigel.
I absolutely did not know that.
Seriously.
Nice.
Good thing I didn't be like, you ever see that guy Heath, man? Or like, Britain is like, No,
We're waiting for that to happen.
No idea. I had no idea.
yeah, it's been a closely guarded secret.
Smith couldn't be related. Like,
Yeah, it was a closely guarded secret in VMware for a while, but because I'm a partner, he's an employee, so we try not to mix and match too much.
I give him no benefits, and he knows it.
No, and that's and if anybody in senior management is listening, I've tried. He won't give me anything.
and for anyone who has a brother knows, he won't get anything out of that.
Yeah. Hey, and last but not least, it's Mike. Mike, how do you say your last name?
Burkhart.
Burkhart.
But I prefer Lord.
Lord Burkhart.
Land in Scotland.
Lord, got it.
It's a good heads up. I appreciate that.
So, Mike, like I was saying beforehand, I've never met you, so please tell me who the heck you are and why you're here.
I was invited. I'm here for the pie. Longtime listener, first time caller. I'm going to be your local rabble rouser. This is going to go off the rails entirely. You will get nothing but enjoyment out of me. So, I've been in the field for 20 years, solutions architect at VMware. Glad to be here. I'm doing some really crazy stuff. Actually got to work with Tim D on a couple customer pursuits and hopefully a lot more. So pretty geeked about that. And
cool.
No Ariel and Nigel from the known Heath for much longer than that. Heath, high five, brother.
All right. As long as someone can vouch for you, then that's cool with me. So. All right. So, quick show of hands. What is the number of VMworlds you will be attending? What is your number for VMworlds this year?
Wait, how many times I went? Or
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's numbers. 5, I think.
4 for me.
Okay.
I'm done with the hands.
So Tony, you've never been to San Francisco?
Yeah, that was my first year, 2015 in San Francisco. Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah, and it'll be back there next year, right?
So I've been actually.
Don't know.
We're all gonna find out together.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
On stage.
once Pat left.
They signed a 3-year contract with Mandalay Bay because of the stuff going on at the Moscone Center, or at least that's what I was told 2 years ago. So technically, it should be back next year because they're going to be done, but we'll see.
I saw something on Moscone's website that they were bragging that it's already coming back, but
dude, I saw some of the pictures of it last year. It was like a crater, like a hole in the ground. There was nothing there. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was interesting.
Yeah, they did some crazy work to it. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like after the fact.
So who has I didn't quite add up all that. Who has the most VMworld experience here?
Looks like Mike did. No, Heath's got, what, you said 7?
8.
7. Oh, 8, yeah.
All right. So for those who might be listening who have not gone before, Heath, what is the number one thing a rookie needs to do?
Like everybody says on the Twitters, wear comfy shoes. That's very important. You'll walk miles and miles if you're willing to do that. But outside of that, I mean, it depends upon what you're going for. I remember the first time I went and attended all the sessions, and I learned so much from so many people. And so there's some people on, when you're reading the Twitters on some of those people asking, what do I do? They're saying, don't go to any sessions because they're recorded. Well, that's true, but I think there's value in going if it's a topic that you're interested in. and being able to see the engineers or the coders that develop that product live. I got a lot of value out of that the first couple times I went. And then after several years, I stopped going to the sessions and started going only to sessions that were tagged as expert or futures, because the future stuff is wicked cool whenever they're showing those things off. And then spending more time on the show floor, going booth to booth and figuring out what's coming up in the industry, because all these new characters that show up at the trade show floor are going to get bought out probably by somebody or become something amazing. And you get to see it typically here at VMworld first.
Good tip.
Cool.
Yeah, excellent.
Tony, I leave the next question to you. You can pick from the gallery.
This question is going to be for probably Tim. Party hard or slow?
Oh, slow, man. So there you have a tendency to look like if it's your first time. That's the context we're talking, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you look at the gatherings list that there is online, and it's like sun up to sundown, you're drinking for free. And I see guys that like by Thursday, they want to die. Like
if they make it to Thursday.
If they make it to Thursday, you're absolutely right. And it's, man, you've got to pace yourself. I mean, there's so much stuff to do, and you kind of have to take everybody's advice. Like some of it's good for 100%, but some of it not so much. There's a lot of really good sessions that you should go to, but then if it's going to be recorded and it's not like one of those expert or future sessions, skip it. Go hang out and just sit down in like the blogger section and just chill, talk to people, relax. You know, you don't have to go burning around in sessions, burning your brain out all day, and then go fuel yourself with booze and Red Bull all night. It's just going to be a long week if you do. I personally value sleep over everything. So I will be most definitely taking it easy this week.
I will say quickly that there are some sessions that don't necessarily get recorded either.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the quick talks and stuff like that. None of that does.
Like the one I asked you about this last week. He's like, yeah, it's a quick talk that happened early on Sunday, and it's like the one thing that I need right now that I can't get.
Yeah, and it's really weird. And it's one of those things where, like, when it comes down to sessions, if it's got a big name that you know on Twitter, it's going to be recorded, like for sure. Like anything with, you know, Frank or Duncan, all that's going to be recorded for sure. But a lot of the little ones, like the quick talks, or even the group discussion formats where it's just like you guys sitting around talking to a PM, that's not recorded, and you will get a lot out of that. My first year in San Francisco, I went to an EUC group discussion, and I was in the middle of designing and deploying Horizon at the place you're working for now, Britton. And I literally just sat there with a PM and bounced every single question that I had about that deployment off of them. It was the most valuable thing I did all week.
Sounds like the Ask the Experts sessions are something that would be good for that too.
If it's a Q&A and you've got like somebody who actually wrote the book on something in front of you, that's worth your time.
Yeah, take advantage of that for sure. And a lot of a lot of those sessions, when you get done with them, you've got people that are pretty much the rest of the year out of reach. Senior VPs, product managers, people that are giving this content that you can go up and you can ask questions right there after the session. Just usually wait a little bit, usually a little bit of a line, but you can get your questions answered there as well.
Yeah, because normally during the year, PMs will filter themselves through the field teams. Like they're like, talk to your SE first. Yep. So if you've got their ear right then and there, go for it.
And with that, I'll add one thing on the question. So give that presenter time to talk, as well as don't be the only guy that's asking a question when there's 20 people behind you that have the same question. That presenter probably has anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to get out of that room and go somewhere else. So just be courteous of that. You know, take a rain check, you know, trade cards, trade Twitter, whatever you want to do to stay in contact, because most of those presenters are going to be online and social. So if they can't get you, it's just not a rude thing. It's they're super busy, probably going to head off somewhere else. So.
Yep. And one thing real quick for Ariel, do you know, are the Brown Bag sessions in the VM Village, are those going to be recorded or are those live only?
No,
Recorded?
they're recorded.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I
They
thought.
usually are.
They'll be in the YouTube channel, and they're normally very quick on the YouTube channel as well.
Cool.
Well, they're streamed live online also as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, for those going back for their second time or third, let's see, Mike, you haven't said anything here. So, Mike, what do you think for the returning people who maybe forgot because they were too drunk? What's a good returning strategy coming back?
Dry out a little bit. I think, my first VMworld, I was working, and so I was a technical account manager. I was running around with customers, and I was, all the things, right? So that first year, I missed all of the expert talks, all of the community, engagements, the evangelization, the stuff that was super valuable that these guys have already highlighted, right? And I agree wholeheartedly. Like, what you have already heard are absolutely the core juice to squeeze out of this event. So get your sleep. Don't drink too much. Drink enough if you drink. Don't drink at all if you don't. Who cares? But network, talk to your community, go to the sessions that are important to you, and then talk to people who are interested in that, because that is the main value for me that I always look at is inspired. I get pumped up. I get passionate all over again. And I learn, I learn faster in this 1 week than I get time to even read or consume in podcasts at the time. Right. Take advantage of the half price certs. I technically don't really even need them anymore, but get 4 or 5 of them, like swipe a card if you can. Right.
Yeah, I did 2 one year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So second timers, third timers, just like Tim said, it's take your time, analyze it, really discover what's important to you, get the value out of that, talk to the people that you want to talk to, and don't just go at it like it's a big party. Like it is. It's a great time. Have fun, but have fun wisely. This is an investment in you. Right? There's a lot of money that goes into this, whether you're spending it or your employer or somebody else. So, grab that rope, wrangle it, for all it's worth. That's my 2 cents.
Well said.
So, I just found my notes for this episode, Tony, and I realized it's actually episode 19.
Yeah, it is.
Oh well. So, okay.
Fix it in post. You're fine.
Right. So the other thing that I feel like we should talk about is the venue itself a little bit. This is the 3rd year it's going to be in Vegas. And, I like the first time I went, it was the first year in Vegas. And like, if you've never been there, it's really just, yeah, I agree, Tim. It's not a great place.
It's awful.
So,
it's my least favorite place on the planet other than Houston. No
so
offense.
like,
Oh, snap.
Some offense, be honest.
so like, is there any clear advice for people who've maybe never been to Vegas before, like things to avoid?
The guys on the street passing you business cards.
Yeah.
Which aren't
Whatever
actually
it
business
is,
cards.
you don't want it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, I will say one thing that you guys haven't mentioned, but you gotta keep hydrated.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
They give you a water bottle. It's for a reason. Drink water all day.
Yeah, because you're
And
in the
if you ever
desert.
think, like, oh, I need to get to that casino. Let me walk out this way. You'll empty that water bottle just walking from one place to the other.
Yeah. Even staying inside, actually, I became
That's bad
dehydrated.
too. Yeah.
I became dehydrated actually recently at Deltec World, and I didn't realize. I'm like, I don't feel good. I must have ate something bad, and I realized that I had 1 cup of coffee in the morning and a sip of water the whole day, and you go off and you do your thing, and then you come back and you're like, why do I feel like this? So it was definitely dehydration. So keep up with that. Double backpack, water bottles, whatever you got to do, fill up and keep that with you.
Yeah, I mean, when you go outside, obviously you're in the Nevada desert, and it's hot as piss outside, and the humidity's low, which is good. But man, that will take care, that will zap your energy, that will zap your, water and all that. But Nigel, you made a good point, because the same thing happened to me at HPE Discover, and I was basically inside the entire day. And you have to drink water, especially if you're walking everywhere, because most people that go, like, we're at the Mandalay Bay, but even if you're staying at the Luxor right next door,
it's still a walk.
It's a half a mile walk at bare minimum to get from the Luxor to the showroom floor, and you're going to be doing that several times a day.
Well, there is a train between those 3 properties.
Yeah.
You're talking to friends, you're talking on stage, you're talking to customers and partners, and you don't realize that you're just blabbing all day long, and you've given all the hydration away.
Taking in all the cigarette smoke through the casinos. You have to walk through it.
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Crazy. Not being a smoker, I can't stand that. So does anybody know off the top of their head, are there any casino maps available? Because I know as a first timer,
is there, Mike?
Coming through the casino, it's kind of daunting and intimidating, and you see like rows and rows of slot machines, and you're like, how do I get through here? How do I find my way to where I need to go? A lot of times you can follow the throngs of people with the VMworld badges and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But do we have any official maps or anything we could post?
They're not out yet. Normally you're going to see the maps on so back of your badge, right?
Yep.
First thing is going to be your badge will have a map. That'll be nebulous. It'll say hotel here,
Right.
There are they used to be on the app. So download the VMworld app on your phone, and they usually would have the map of the entire event, and even across casinos, right? If you have multiple places you're going, the casinos sites themselves normally have a pretty well vetted map as well. So, on Mandalay and whatnot. Those are generally the 3 places, right? Like start with your badge and kind of get your bearings, and then go from there. But like the app and the websites.
Or ask a blue shirt.
Mandalay proper, they are always going to have because all the casinos, they're like giant mazes, but there are main thoroughfares through the place. Right. And during the show, they usually hire people to stand there with signs that say, "Oh, VMworld this way." Yep. So as long as you stick to the really large aisles, they'll usually filter you through there.
Large aisles and follow the backpacks.
Yeah, follow the backpacks. Most people in casinos ain't got them. And if you have to stop at a craps table, that's okay. I'm going to as well.
Bet it all on Red 33.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I was gonna say like the blue shirt people, or whatever color shirt it is for that year, those people who are standing all throughout all the venues are incredibly helpful and knowledgeable about where to go.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't know where they get those people, but
they are awesome. They're so enthusiastic and helpful. I love that when everybody was thanking them when us as attendees, and they were clapping for us as we were leaving. We're like, no, you guys were the rock stars. You helped all week long tirelessly, and yeah, they're great.
They're locals that they hire to do that, and they do an awesome job.
Yeah.
They do.
They may not understand what the conference is and all that, but they know those casinos inside and out and how to get places. So they just tell them, look, if they ask for this, it's here. If they ask for this, it's here. And they're awesome.
Another thing, if you find a fellow VMworlder that looks lost and you know where you're going or they're going, take them with you. I've had that happen to me, and I've helped someone the same because I was lost and they were lost. So like, oh yeah, I think it's over here, and 2 of you can figure it out. You never know, that could be the next person that you work with or a new friend in the community. So I think just try and help out. Be the nicer person. Don't be the unless you're in a hurry, you got to go, Tim. Right? So.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, do you have a next one?
That's all you got written down for now, brother.
Yeah, well, I figured you could come up with something on the fly. You're smart like that.
Well, I just did. That was the whole casino finding your way thing.
All right, let's go through what's happening with each of you this week. Nigel, let's start with you. What are you doing at VMworld?
So I will be there this weekend. On Sunday, we have 2 workshops. So they are held at, actually I have it up here, I believe, over at the Luxor. So at the casino level, Galleria A meeting room. Right now, both events are full with a waiting list. But please, if you are listening and you want to attend, come anyway, because sometimes people sleep in. They do that party thing early and then they don't wake up in the morning and go to the session. This is not a session. These 2 sessions are not in the catalog, so they're just free workshops. It's going to be myself and David Stamen doing our vSphere upgrade workshop from 8 a.m., which is pretty early on Sunday, till 12. And then we have a 1 to 5, both in the same location. And then I believe it's Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday and Wednesday we have sessions. David and I both together. We have a preparing for your vSphere environment upgrade, and that's on Wednesday. And then we have our focus plan execute, which is our deeper dive into the upgrade journey, and that's on Tuesday. So
cool. Tim, what do you got going on beside? Well, we already know what you're doing, Tim. You already told us. Forget you.
Yeah, I've got so on Sunday I'm doing time zone conversion in my head here. So from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I will have a table at TAM Customer Day. So if you are a TAM customer, I'll be there for the VMware Cloud Services Specialist table. So come say hi. After that, I will be on the show floor from 5 to 7:30 doing simplifying container ops there. And then I have that exact same booth duty on Monday and Wednesday. Monday looks like mid-afternoon, and Wednesday is like 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock-ish. Other than that, I'm going to be running around doing whatever we need to cover, talking to customers and stuff like that. So if anybody out there is looking to go to AWS or is in AWS or is going to Azure or Google Cloud, and you want to take some VMware tools to help you out, then come talk to me. We've got a lot of really cool stuff going on.
Cool.
Or VMware Cloud.
No, we don't know.
What?
No. No. So there's some VMware Cloud on AWS is somebody else's problem.
Yeah. So Heath, this is your first VMworld presenting, right?
It is. It is my my first VMworld presenting.
Sorry, I'm not going to be there.
I'm doing 2 presentations. I'm doing one on strategies for workload mobility, so helping customers that are looking to move from a legacy vSphere environment into something newer. And so talk about different strategies for how you would move your application workloads. And then I'm doing a session on building the ultimate hybrid cloud. And that's probably going to be the coolest one, because I've got the director of product management for hybrid cloud extension, otherwise previously known as HCX, which if you haven't seen that product, it's pretty cool for what it can do.
Okay, so you've talked about that briefly. Can you give me like a 10-second description of what that is?
Yeah, so say you've got a legacy vSphere environment and it's running ESX5 and you have a hard time upgrading it because you didn't go to Nigel's session. And you decided, well, I'm going to buy some brand new infrastructure and it's running 6.5. Well, most of our stuff, it's incompatible to be able to do any sort of migration, let alone live migration between the two. So hybrid cloud extension, you install some appliances on both sides, the legacy side and the new side, and it creates a hybrid tunnel to connect the two, and you can actually live migrate and vMotion VMs between the two, doing layer 2 extensions. The thing is, for the most part, fully automatic and configuring all the stuff.
That's just some crazy wizard magic right there.
That's pretty sick. Now let's all remember, this is now called NSX Hybrid Cloud.
Oh, did they change the name again?
It's part of the Virtual Cloud Network.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's also somebody else's problem now.
Yeah, so I've heard it called multiple things. It was HCX to start with, and that's all over the application. When you load it, it says HCX everywhere. Yeah. And I think it still does.
Yeah, they're rebranding it as part of the NSX family now.
Yeah, so then it came, and then it turned into hybrid cloud extensions, and then it turned into NSX Hybrid Connect, which that will be the name I use in my presentation. And there's a difference between the two. So if you're connecting on-prem to on-prem, it's NSX Hybrid Connect. Mm-hmm. If you're connecting on-prem to a cloud provider, it's Hybrid Cloud Extensions.
Ooh,
so
weird.
They give it 2 names depending upon how you use it.
Nice case, yeah.
Both kick butt.
It's an amazing tool. The first time I saw it, It was kind of like that first time I ever saw vMotion. I was like, wait, how did this happen? It was just mind blowing.
It still blows my mind.
Yeah.
So what was the thing I interrupted you before you were saying your last thing you're talking about?
Oh, that's my 2 sessions, and then outside of the 2 sessions, I'll be at a Meet the Experts table, which all these can be found in the catalog. I'm doing Meet the Expert session, I think, 3 times to talk to customers that are interested about workload mobility and moving those applications between those sites and how do you do it. So,
nice.
All good stuff.
So you're not doing anything specific with Cloud Foundation, or is that
so? These are all focused on using Cloud Foundation. So the workload strategies are all based on using Cloud Foundation as the destination. So a lot of the features and capabilities that are needed to move those workloads require the Cloud Foundation, vSphere, vSAN, and NSX components.
Cool.
You gotta tell us the session or the session number so I can look it up. Something.
All you gotta do is look up my name. I'm the only Heath. Okay. That's it. That's your keyword. Don't look at the number. Just look up Heath.
Yeah, that's how I found myself pretty quickly.
Right. Lord Nigel. Just look for that.
The Lord has been removed.
Ariel, what are you doing at VMworld this year?
I'm actually doing some cool stuff. I've never been part of the Opening Acts people that organize Opening Acts, but this year I was, and I am. So that's what I'll be doing mostly on Sunday with some TAM day in there. Other than that, I'll be at the Be Brown backstage. I'm helping recording. I'm part of the crew.
Awesome.
And it's shenanigans up and down. It's having fun and seeing friends, but it's mostly community focused this time around, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
All right. Let's see. Did we ask Mike what he's doing? He's just gonna be there. Mike, what are you doing?
Being awesome. Oh no, wait, sorry.
Yeah. At VMworld.
I am at VMworld. I unfortunately have a perforated schedule. I have to be there Sunday through Tuesday. So I will be there entertaining guests. I will be talking to product management and VPC level from both customer and VMware. So we've got different types of meetings with different types of customers, depending on what level of management they are and what their purview is. So doing that. Got the VCDX Wolfpack party. Whoop. Plug for my crew. And then there's the vExpert party on Tuesday. Definitely clued in on that. And then it's always a fun time at the Rubik party. They just make awesome and or ridiculous parties. So probably going to that as well. Yeah. And then, I don't get any time for sessions this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to be whining and dining. So that's my role this year.
Hard. Well, it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right. Tony, did you think of a question yet?
Yes. This one is going to be for Nigel. Do you have any recommended sessions that you would send people to?
As a matter of fact, I may have some of those.
Not necessarily focused in your area, but just general recommendation for anybody.
Yeah, there's a couple. Definitely one that I want to point out is there's a session called Nerds with Appliances. Ooh. It's a vCenter migration session talk. Definitely want to check that out. We want to get folks off of that Windows old device and onto the appliance, but I always love the creative names that they come up with. Mm-hmm. And that session is two big dogs, William Lamb and Ahmad Yunus. So that's going to be a good show. So I'm hoping that I have some time to check that out myself. But I think as an employee now, I'm tied up with some customer meetings before my own sessions. So that's how that goes. Personally, if I was back as a partner or an employee, I would be interested in some of the EUC sessions. There's a lot of new stuff coming out with Workspace and so forth. And obviously the session that Heath was talking about, HCX, is something that's interesting to me because it kind of goes across between cloud and on-prem. And it's something that my team is interested in learning or utilizing maybe in the future to help with upgrades, to enable customers or partners to do different types of upgrades versus in place and, starting new greenfield. So I would stick to those ones. There's definitely a great things going on with NSX as well, right? I mean, there's a lot of new stuff coming out with that, but me personally, NDA. All I would say is I personally would do the EUC stuff and I would do the HNIC stuff. I think anything that's a round table, take advantage of it, or if it's a meet the experts, take advantage of it. I didn't do that as a customer. I did it as a partner, and I wish I did it as a customer to learn a little bit more. Or make some connections, or at least get the truth from the source, right? Or get those hard questions answered. So, but besides that, I don't really have a laundry list, but I like to promote a couple like that. But the Ahmad and William guys, those guys are going to rock that. So I'm excited to see what they do. Cool. I don't even know what they're up to, so it'd be kind of cool if they're keeping it secret.
Cool. When I was a customer, my immediate thing was William Lamb, all of them.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have a couple that I want to highlight. I think this is going to be a really interesting one. I've seen a little bit of the timelines on Twitter last summer about it, but Mark Brookfield and Katerina Wagnerova.
Yes.
They're going to be doing that Designing for the Unexpected, Delivering IT on a Boat with VMware Horizon. That for anybody looking for that session ID, that is VIN2650BU. That sounds like it's going to be a really good story, really interesting.
I'm sure that's booked up.
Yeah, that one booked up pretty quick, but I think they saw the demand, and VMware's really good about changing rooms for that kind of stuff. So they actually moved it to a different room and got...
Or even adding double sessions for stuff like that. Yeah. So that is going to be fascinating.
That is going to be a really good one.
I wish I could see it, but I'm busy at that time. And even that, employees can't set a schedule. When you use the employee pass, it won't let you do a schedule builder.
Whoa.
The fun perks.
Yes, you have perks. So the other one, being a vSAN guy that I wanted to highlight, is this looks like a really interesting deep dive. It's a vSAN IO Path Deconstructed, a deep dive into the internals of vSAN. Mm-hmm. This is going to be Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Oceanside D. This is session HCI 1473BU. This is going to be John Nicholson and Pete Keeler.
And when you said vSAN and you were taking apart like the wires and the ones and zeros, I was like, yeah, Nicholson has to be there. Come on.
Yeah. Right. A guy has got a lot of knowledge. That is going to be a really interesting.
So awesome. Yeah.
All right. So Ariel, do you have any favorite sessions? Anything that you've got that you wanted to share out with the people?
I'm definitely doing the hackathon. It's one of the few things I can do as an employee.
Thank you, Ariel.
The IoT Raspberry Pi sessions.
Oh, yes. I saw those highlighted on Twitter. You can actually get a Raspberry Pi 3 to keep at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I am participating in the hackathon as well. I'm on a team with Joe Hughes out of Austin VMUG and Ken Nalbone and a few others. So that's going to be a good time. That was awesome.
I was going to say that was the highlight. One of the highlights for last year for me was going to the hackathon. I really I wasn't able to contribute to my team at all because I have no idea how to code anything.
Yeah, I felt the same way, but it was awesome.
But it was a lot of fun, and I was on Cody DeArkland's team, and we had a great time, even though we got nothing done. But
I'm on a team this year that I got guilted into by Mr. Tommy Barry from our lovely marketing department. Nice. And Aaron Bailey is on my team as well, and I have a feeling that we are going to get damn near next to nothing done. But it should
have fun doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I saw today that they also released hackathon spectator seats that also get food and drink. So
very cool.
If you're the guy that really doesn't want to participate, there's a spectator option as well.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be in the Luxor like it was last year. I think it's going to be back in the Mandalay in the main conference area, so it'll be a little bit different this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, that space was tight where it was last year. There was not a lot of room.
Yeah.
I hear it's a nice, quiet place to hang out and catch up with people.
And the Wi-Fi didn't work either.
Oh, that's fun.
It was challenging, so it should be a lot better this year. The other thing they did with the hackathon is they actually went with a cloud provider for this, Hacker Earth. So you had to sign up for that, and that's going to be interesting. You technically can start working on your projects now through that service.
Awesome.
I didn't know that.
There was one guy last year who was on a team by himself, and he actually got like a ton of stuff done. I think he came in second.
Because he was by himself.
Yeah.
You put the headphones on and just drown everybody out and get work done.
I think I know the guy. He's really awesome. So he got like 3 hours more free of work. Of course, he's gonna get something done.
Yeah, I just remember seeing this like oh, nobody joined that poor guy's team.
Let's see if there's any other sessions. Okay, Mike, do you have any other sessions you wanted to highlight?
No, you actually named like Cat and Mark's session was the one I was really geeked about, to be honest. Cat at Sea, I've been following for a long time. So kind of like, I don't know if anyone caught, I think it was 2016 where we saw vSAN on a boat, and they exploded the front half of a boat and the other half of the boat survived, and hence vSAN survived because they architected it to survive a torpedo. I'm like,
that's cool.
That's kind of nuts. Like this is that type of session where like I kind of followed Kat as she dropped hard drives into the sea for off-site storage of a boat. I'm like, how is this session gonna end? I'm like, so that's that one I can't wait for. There's another one, Joseph Griffiths and Craig Fletcher, a couple of peers of mine. Craig's my director actually. They're giving on design principles and business making decisions. It's a little more high level, a little more business focused, but great for architects, great for managers, director level who are going. So that's another good plug for those guys.
Here's another one. 5 things your boss's boss secretly wishes you would tell them. I put that one on there.
Oh, that's not good.
It just sounded interesting, so I put that on the schedule. That is LDT 1497BUR.
100%.
So, if you're like me, the first year that I went, I've like found out how to get into the schedule builder like 2 weeks too late. So I couldn't get into any sessions that I wanted to get into. If there's sessions you want to go to, obviously there's the line you can get in and maybe you'll get a seat. But for those guys who this is your second or third year, 10 or maybe your first year, what do you do if your session that you really wanted to get into is full and you don't know where to go? Like, what do you do then? Tim, let's go to you.
So I'm not going to say who or what session or what year, but I actually wanted to go to a specific session. And when it was full, I didn't know what was going on. I reached out to that person on Twitter and met up with them in the front of the, where their session was, and was talking to them for a few minutes there. And they're like, oh, I got to go set up. Come on, let's go. And walked in and stole a chair right up front without having to be registered for the session, because I walked in with the person delivering the session.
I've pulled that.
That's one way.
I'm not going to say that's going to work every time, because it just happened to work out for me. But that is an option if you so choose.
Yeah, that happened to me too. I was actually conversing with somebody, just talking about vSAN actually. And he's like, oh, well, walk with me. I got to get going to my next session. I'm like, okay. So started picking his brain about several different things. And the next thing I know, I'm in a session I didn't even know he had. And I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Well, it works right here then. This chair's open.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anybody else practical advice for stuff to do?
Sorry.
No, go for it, Mikey. Go, Mikey.
Cool. So on that topic, I actually helped out on the TAM org. If you have a TAM or a TAM buddy, not that we can work magic, but a lot of times like technical account managers either are aware of well, this session got doubled up, so they made another one. Like even the week of the VMworld, sometimes they even schedule more sessions depending on who speaks and what, you could see session that has one time slot on Monday become Wednesday and Thursday as well, so you can go and get on the waiting list. I don't recommend that because the waiting list always is where everybody goes, oh, I went out and got drunk last night and it's Tuesday morning and I forgot to schedule this awesome one. So, planning in advance, always see who see who you can talk to. And then if you don't get the session, it's always possible to talk to that person afterwards. And that whole networking thing comes into play, right? Where you can kind of say, hey, that was a great concept, great talk. Can you give me the lowdown, or where can I go for materials on that too? So the people are super awesome when it comes to providing material and help, right? You're not going to find someone turning you away, right? So just ask.
And that's kind of the whole point of the event, right? Is to help customers. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Heath, do you have any tips for people who can't get into stuff? Because I'm sure your session is going to be full.
Boy, I don't know. A lot of those are probably recorded. So I believe the website is videos.vmworld.com. So pick up the recording afterwards. I heard the other day in our employee all hands that they were saying that I think they're going to be posted 24 hours after your session is complete.
Oh, that's new.
So.
Pretty quick.
That's very fast.
Cool.
One thing to keep in mind too is even if a session is full doesn't mean it's going to be full, because a lot of people register for sessions and then for whatever reason
a lot of no-shows
stuck somewhere else and they can't make it for whatever reason, and there's always standby lines. So if you get there a little bit before the session and stand in the standby line, you almost always get in.
Yeah, and a lot of times in those sessions, if it's a really big room and they can get away with like one single line of people along the back wall kind of in the corner, to where it's still not a huge fire hazard, I've seen them do that as well. So while it does sound bad to do the standby line and stuff like that, a lot of times you'd have a pretty good shot standing in that line. So don't discount that. If you don't have any other sessions that you could line up for, definitely go stand in that line if it's worth it.
Yep.
And here's a pro tip. Nerds are shy. They don't want to sit up front. There's always seats at the front.
True story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the best seats at the front.
Distance. Oh, yeah, you bet.
See, the slide's the best. And
so for the Monday and Tuesday keynotes that happen, which is the main event of those 2 days, if it's your first time, I say go with the giant audience and see it live. But otherwise, the Village is a very popular place to go.
Yeah.
The Village is the best. If you've never been, go to it live. You have to see the big show. You got to see Pat in person. He always is a great presenter. It's great to see. The energy in there is awesome.
Yep.
But if it's year 2 or something like that, go sit in the VM Village. Go, sit in the blogger section or something like that, because there's always a group of, people like us that are just sitting there, doing Mystery Science 3000, sitting there watching it, commenting on it, and it's fantastic. That's the best.
So
I think Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think for at least one of them this year, ever since it's been in Vegas, at least, I haven't been in the main auditorium for that yet.
So big.
So I'm going to check that out this year for one of them, and then the VM Village, the rest of them.
Are you going to see the technical content, or are you going to see Malala's?
What?
Oh, the
day
special.
1 or day 2?
That's
day
day
1 or
3,
day
isn't
2.
it?
Probably day 1.
Trust me, what I said was real words.
No, yeah. So she's the non-technical
Our
talk
guest
person.
speaker that's going to be with Sanjay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the second day.
Yes, yeah. The first day is the technical presentations and all the announcements.
At first, I thought that was like a Star Wars reference, like for the. Or what, Mike? What was that comment you made when Star Wars came out about the dogs, the crystal dogs?
Jingle puppies.
Yes, the jingle puppies.
Jingle puppies. I don't care what else you want to know about Star Wars. I want a jingle puppy and the story. I just want one. Or 5. I don't care.
That was the best.
I remember seeing that one for sure.
Oh my gosh. And I was gonna add, if you are ending up in the hang space or whatever it's called now, VM Village, right? There is mini events going on inside there usually as well, besides just beanbags and watching the TV show of Pat and crew telling us what's new and next. VMware Education's down there, so they do mini presentations. Our buddy Brett does some stuff down there. Some other guys do. When I was a customer, I went straight over there and I found Linus. And I said, hey, by the way, I just failed the VCP DT, so let's talk about it. and he was there, and he hung out and talked to me for 30 minutes. And
he's like, oh, I wrote that. Let me tell you why you're awful.
Yeah, I was like, I bought the book with your name on it, and I failed.
Nice.
Dude, I swear, so my first year that I went, I was all about sessions and stuff like that. And I was working for Dell, and I had to, make sure I earned my keep and took a bunch of notes. And man, I'll tell you what, every other year after that, I got more out of being in the hang space or the VM village or whatever you call it than anything. Yep. Because that next year when I started hanging out in the hang space, that's when I met Ariel and his hat and, all of you guys and, ended up getting into the vExpert program and stuff like that. And that's the best.
Yeah. There's a lot to do. I mean, you're going to run into the people, that are off stage trying to get a break too, that are trying to look for a little quiet space. But, you're going to have the brown bag talks down there. So you're going to see a ton of people from the community, so, spend some time down there if you get bumped out of a session or you don't make that wait list. So it's definitely a good place to be.
I do want to highlight one V Brown Bag talk that's coming. V Frank from Boston is doing an awesome sounding V Brown Bag talk. So look up, and we'll have to add his Twitter handle and stuff to this, but Frank is an awesome guy, and if you've never heard his Boston accent and him giving a presentation, it's just hilarious. It's great. He's a hoot.
It awesome. Is at VM_Frank M.
Yes.
For his Twitter handle.
And he works for a hedge fund in Boston, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. So he's a cool guy.
And don't forget also, while we're on the topic of the VM Village, that usually is where the V Brown Bag sessions are at. That is also where the blogger table is. Not sure if he's going to be there this year, but that's where Scott Lowe usually hangs out. And
giving up his secret hiding spaces.
Yeah, Keith Townsend usually to be found over there. Lots of folks over there in the blogger space. I met a lot of people that I had never met other than Twitter at that location last year, so that was pretty awesome. Wanted to point that out. There is usually also a TAM booth in the VM Village somewhere where they give little presentations there, and you can win little gifts there by attending their sessions as well. So
the TAM team has good swag too.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I wanted to mention a little while earlier about new people and stuff like that, and that's swag. I know everybody feels different about it. There's always, your first year, you're going to be inundated with free crap. I mean, all the little wind-up robots and all that crap that you're going to take with you. I mean, look, I've got this Veeam thing from VMUG that I've got that I use when I'm on conference calls daily. It's great. But if you've never been and you've got people in your office that are jealous you're going, then you need to take an entire extra suitcase that's empty.
Yes.
Because it's going to be full by the time you're done.
Yep, and that's not an exaggeration.
It's not even I took an entire extra bag and I still didn't have enough. See, everybody's holding up their free stuff, and it's so much crap, and a lot of it's okay, most of it's garbage. But if you're bringing it back for your office mate as well, but then you start moving up into the other years, and you start getting vExpert and stuff like that. That's when all the really cool stuff comes in, and you start raising your bar. And if it's not a polo shirt, or if it's not, an electronic or something, usually you don't want to take it. But definitely, if you've never gone before, bring either a bigger bag or an extra bag just for that.
Well,
yeah, and it'll make your spouse happy. Don't bring that stuff home. Your husband or wife does not want to see all the extra IT junk that you brought home. And if you have enough kids to give that stuff away, you're giving it away somewhere else in your office, cool. But don't come home with lightsabers and try to excite your husband or wife with keychains that light up. So give it away.
Spinners.
Bring it to VMUGs. Give it away at VMUG buddies. Give it to people that couldn't make it to the show.
What I've never been able to understand is before Heath was working for VMware and a customer, you'd always come back with stuff in the thousands of dollars range worth of high dollar prizes and basically sell it all and pay for your trip to VMworld from the really good stuff you brought home. So, what are the tips and tricks you have, Heath, for people to win the good stuff?
You got to get to know the guy that's, let's see here, typically he's been running the Dell booth.
Madison?
Mr. Madison Alexander. Usually the Dell booth in the past has had the best prizes, and your odds of winning were pretty good. I mean, typically 1 in 20 wins, and we weren't cheating it in any way most of the time ish. Depends on who you ask.
Look, I've known some people who, in the booths that they were working, their customer that was at the show just so happened to win the really awesome Lego toy or whatever it happened to be.
Come on.
Get to know the people in the booth. If they're doing something like they want you to tweet something out, like that's a big deal, is social media engagement.
Oh, yeah.
Like they'll like tweet out their hashtag or something like that. Don't just go by, tweet out the hashtag, and don't like be all weird. And, you know, they're going to sign your, you know, scan your badge and stuff like that. But start talking to them. The guy that runs the VMware booth, for the most part, at most of the major shows in the US, when he gets to the end of the day and he starts looking through Twitter for who's going to win the prize or what have you, he's not just looking for like the best tweet. He's going to remember that person. And it's like, oh, that person talked to all of the experts here. They were really engaged. Everything was great. They deserve this. Talk to the people at the booth if you're interested in their prizes, because they're the ones that give it out. Usually it's not some, you know, random generator. So always be engaged.
Yep.
Or you could just be like Tony and just give up on the prizes altogether because it takes away half your show.
I did. That swallowed up one whole VMworld almost. And I just like, okay, enough. I want to go meet people. I want to go do stuff. I want to go learn stuff. And I just threw it all away. Whatever.
So I have one there, and especially for the new VExperts, if you hear that certain vendor has VExpert swag, go on Monday. Like go immediately.
Yeah, do it right away.
By Thursday, everything is gone.
Yeah.
If you go on Tuesday or Wednesday and like Mike at Cohesity is telling you to get lost, it's because you should have come on Monday.
Same rules apply for the VMware store, the merchandise store for VMware merchandise.
Yeah,
if there's something that you're interested in from the VMware store, buy it the first day. It will sell out.
Medium t-shirts, gone by Monday or
buy
Tuesday.
10 and put 9 in your backpack to sell later on Thursday.
That's only because every
VMware
other
store.
What I say is not endorsed by VMware.com.
So here's another change from last year. This year we have the VMware Code stage, which I think they're also trying to get recorded. So there's a bunch of sessions there. They may be recorded. They also announced that they're going to have a full espresso bar, so you're not just having to drink drip coffee. You get espressos. And one thing that you mentioned, Tim, being engaged, go talk to the VMTN people. My God, these people are working all year round. Tommy, Elsa, Corey, everybody. We have new people, Kripa, we have Jenny. Go meet them. They're phenomenal people, and they really appreciate, you know, people coming in and say hi.
Yeah, they're all awesome.
Tony, do you have a question for someone?
What do you do?
I like how you just like post to Tony every time there's no silence. It's like, Tony.
Yeah, come up with something on the fly.
He's the co-host.
Perform.
You're on.
Whipping boy.
Dance, monkey boy, dance.
What does everybody do on Thursday after the party? Oh, that brings up another point. Plans for the party on Wednesday night. And then what do you do on Thursday when the conference is kind of winding down and there's not that much session attendance? Go, Tim.
You haul ass to McCarran and hope that you catch that first flight out in the morning. That's what you do on Thursday mornings, which is bad to say because there are some really, really awesome sessions on Thursday morning.
Those poor guys that get those slots on Thursday.
Yeah, if you're in the last presenter slot on Thursday, you're guaranteed to have like 4 people in there. But it's going to be a good show.
If they're giving something away in their session, you have a good chance. Solutions Exchange as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like McCarran on Thursday morning is 90% people running through there, hoping that they can get there for standby on time. Like that's how that goes down.
Heath?
I would say definitely hit the general session on Thursday. They've got some usually really good TED Talk style presentations going on, and every year they've done it, I've been impressed. They don't typically even record it, and I wish they did, because some of those presentations are just amazing, and some of them they're actually like under NDA. They're not allowed to have recordings done of what they're presenting. So definitely, it's worth checking out and listening to.
Monday and Tuesday are the only broadcast and recorded general sessions this year.
Mike, what do you got for Thursday?
So there's a gun range that lets you take all of the guns out of Call of Duty and shoot them.
Yes.
It's kind of awesome.
Is that
and you can also crush a car with a tank.
Is that Battlefield Vegas?
Battlefield Vegas. If you want to crush a car with a tank, like I do, you might want to go there. That aside, right. That is not something that I've been aware of my before. No, the Thursday. So honestly, like some of the most interesting stuff ends up being on Thursday as well, but it's one of those scheduling nightmares. So I remember there was one year that there was a NVIDIA Grid use case for EUC, like virtual desktops with NVIDIA Grid cards and, using AutoCAD and virtual desktops and all this cool stuff. And then healthcare imaging and these presentations were just amazing. And they were Thursday at like noon. And this was one of the years where I was, pickled. I was absolutely like, well, I'm worthless. So thankfully, the sessions are still air conditioned and have seats. So, if you're up to it, still attend those. They're phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. But I'm also with Tim on the, I've got a family, I've got kids, and I like being with them. So Thursday usually ends up being can I get on this flight, please? So pick and choose wisely.
Just remember the American Airlines $75 confirmed seats go quick. So wake up at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning if you want to grab one.
Nice.
Good advice.
I typically will take Thursday. I've got a buddy that lives out in Vegas. And so the last 3 years, I've typically taken Thursday as a sightseeing day. And we try to pick something fun to do. This year, it's either going to be Sunday or Thursday, not sure yet, but we're planning a trip out to Zion National Park in Utah, so that should be beautiful. I've got the drone I'll be bringing with and the camera to get some good photography on that.
Awesome.
That should be fun. Cool. Ariel, what do you do on Thursday after VMworld?
So, opposed to these traders, I actually schedule my time. Like, my downtime is starting on Friday, so my wife will typically fly in on Thursday night.
Oh,
and
nice.
That means that I still get to enjoy VMworld much more calmer this time. We still have the Battlefield sessions. We still have stuff. What I really like, though, is it really becomes a ghost in afternoon. What I really like is, okay, where are we all going when this is done? Like at 3 p.m. when there's no sessions anymore. Typically, you get a dinner with everybody, like a nice dinner. We'll go to Fogo de Chao or something. Or we'll just hit up a bar, and it's going to be like 20 people that you may have not spent some time all week, and you finally get to talk to them calmly. So that's why I really like Thursday. It really is. It's a slow come down because all the pricks already left for the airport and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ariel makes sense.
Wow.
I think that's actually a nice part of getting there on Sunday, is because like Ariel, that's like the first time I met you last year was on the Sunday at the House of Blues. We met up with a whole bunch of people, and this guy's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Ariel. Who are you?" And
that was Saturday night because that was fight night.
That's right.
Fight. All huddled around that little cell phone screen.
Saturday.
I'm totally looking to this. I arrived Saturday like 4 p.m. I'm totally looking forward to Saturday night because I know it hasn't gone crazy yet.
Yeah.
Is there a VBers?
Still have that excitement of the competition.
We should make one.
Yeah.
Even if it's pay your own, we should just say, hey, we're gonna hang out here. And it's typically eye candy after 1 a.m. But
yeah,
which night was the Texas Hold'em night?
I'll be in there earlier. So Nigel, what do you plan for Thursday?
So Thursday, I will still be in Vegas. I'm leaving Friday morning, so I'm not getting out of town that early yet. Things may change, but yes, Thursday is that wind down, right? So I'm like Ariel, trying to find who's getting together, who's doing, this. Are we going to this place to have a drink? Or are we going to sit down and have some dinner? And then that evolved into a couple years ago, a crew getting together and going to a buffet or doing something. So I may be joining up with that same crew and doing the Thursday night buffet as well. But it's the last part of the week, and I'll be arriving like late Friday night. So I'll be there quite a while. Friday to Friday in Vegas. 3 days.
That's an eternity.
That's a long time.
So but anyway, it's a good thing. I get to travel with my wife, so she'll be in for part of the trip, and then she'll split out on early, like 1 in the morning or something on Wednesday while we're all trying to be at a party or something. She'll be actually getting the heck out of there.
I'm going to look for you because this is my first time that my wife is coming in with me from the beginning. And I know
yeah!
She already did some Spoustivities things, but I got to hook her up.
I was hoping you mentioned that, so we'll throw a plug in there for
Spoustivities
because Crystal Lowe and Scott as well do a great job. Crystal's worked her butt off for the last 10 years doing the Spoustivity. Yep. So if you're not familiar, it's spoustivities.com. Check it out. Male, female, doesn't matter. Spouse. If it's a husband or a wife, you can go do this. It's not just for the ladies. I went and did a zip line. I think Tim's done the zip line. We've done these things before, so it's great. It allows them to do some great excursions and go see some stuff. We can nerd out, and then we can catch up for dinner later on. So pretty awesome.
Yeah, and some of the things that they go see are pretty cool, like the Hoover Dam and Grand Canyon, and it's pretty neat stuff.
That helicopter rides last year, I think. So pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Also, if you've never done the helicopter tour in Vegas, they have one from Maverick Tours. It's, what is it? I want to say it's like $90 to $100 per person for 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot. But they come to your hotel, they pick you up in a bus, they take you to the terminal, you sit there and drink champagne until it's your turn. Then they literally fly you from McCarran, you take off, you buzz the strip down or up north, you fly right around the stratosphere, and then you come back down the strip. And even though it's 15 minutes, it is one of the coolest 15 minutes ever.
I like the pre-buzz thing. Like, let me get a look up so I can get in this chopper.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
The whirly bird.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Britton, your question.
So, if you're not keen on the parties, which my biggest complaint about the parties is because I'm a food guy, I like to eat, obviously. There's not a lot of food at these parties typically, and it's mostly just all alcohol, which I'm not an alcohol guy. So a couple of times we've bailed on parties just to go get food. I would like to plug the Burger Bar restaurant in between the Mandalay Bay and the Luxor. Excellent place.
That's good.
Any other places you guys that are in the area that, easy to get to for dinner?
Right next to that, actually, is Husong and Larry's, the little Mexican cantina. Some good tacos and tequilas and stuff there too. So a good spot.
So you said easy to get to, and this one isn't, but Lotus of Siam is worth the trip.
I heard that was good.
It is worth the trip. It's like in this little strip center thing in the middle of wherever it is. It's awesome. You're gonna wait a little bit to get in there, but
especially with Tim's directions, you're going to wait a long time to get in there.
Yeah.
I want to give a plug to Tacos El Gordo. It is a legit taqueria on the end of the strip. You want tongue, you want whatever, steak, carnitas, they've got it. It's delicious. Yeah.
Ariel.
It is phenomenal.
Better than that.
I'll also give a shout. I also want to give a shout out to Korean Karaoke that's in Koreatown or somewhere off the strip. But yeah, go find it. If you're a karaoke singer, there's some weird places that are really fun in Vegas.
I've got a top tip here. So when you are at VMworld, there's a lot of parties going on. Obviously, most of them are all late at night. Just a quick safety tip: watch yourself when you're out in the even on the main strip at night.
Yep. Travel
in groups. Try to be aware of what's going on around you. I actually had my boss was out there for a trip over the, I think, spring or winter, and got knocked out. He was with only one other guy. He got knocked out. His wallet, cell phone stolen, everything. Didn't even know what hit him. He just hit the ground. So be careful. Watch yourself. Have a good time, but watch yourself, and don't stay out after dark late by yourself.
And I think Heath knows the location, but there's an elevator you're supposed to avoid in one of the buildings.
Yeah, I don't know the location, but that story's not safe for the recording.
No, it's not. No.
Let's stop that and talk about that then.
No, but I do have a restaurant.
Long story short, what you just said was avoid every elevator, because I'm not telling you which one it is.
Late at night. Yeah, late at night is the key.
We'll be back after this message for stairs.
Yeah, definitely. So a restaurant, I would go over to the Cosmopolitan and hit up Momofuku.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dave Chang's restaurant. It's absolutely stellar.
Another one in that same area that we went to for the first time a couple years ago is that Secret Pizza or Hidden?
Yeah, it's right next to it.
Right next to that.
Yes, it's a secret.
Everything right there on that second floor in Cosmopolitan is good. Secret Pizza, I think Milk Bar is there, Momofuku, and there's a breakfast joint too.
Egg Slut.
Egg Slut. There you go.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I have not
Skip
been
the
there.
conference
Egg
breakfast
Slut.
and at least go to Egg Slut one time.
You have to.
You have to go to Egg Slut.
But go early. Don't go like after 8 o'clock.
Oh God, no. No,
You're
the
gonna wait
line
like
is like
35, 45 minutes just to get in, up to the register.
Yep. Get there early. Skip the concert food and go to get some Egg Slut. That's some good stuff.
There's also Hash House a Go-Go. Have any of you guys been to Hash House?
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, no, Britton.
It was terrible.
We ate
It's not a
there.
foodie joint. It's a nasty, greasy spoon, but it's so good.
No,
Sorry,
I
Joey,
wouldn't
go
even
ahead.
call it a nasty, greasy spoon. It was just like, it was
and I ate there
horrible.
last year.
There's a couple of them
It's so good.
too, I think.
No,
I don't
if
remember
I
what
went
I
back,
had.
if I went back, there's a place that I would like to go. If you've ever watched Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, he goes to some waffle joint with Jerry Lewis, and the place looks like it looks like a real true greasy spoon. But Jerry Lewis orders like a plate full of bacon, and they bring him this ginormous plate full of bacon.
Nice.
So I want to go to that place.
You had me at bacon.
You want to pull a Jerry Lewis?
Yes. All right. We're getting close to time here, guys. So let's see. Is there anything that we are leaving out or missing?
Anybody have any final thoughts?
Yeah.
Ariel.
So just today, I managed to put an order for stickers. Having fun at the fact that we don't have a mascot in the VX Predators X program anymore. You will be amazed how many cool stickers are released just in VMworld. So be ready to collect stickers, to collect the V All Star cards. Those things are pretty cool. And if you can get a bunch and bring back to the office or your friends or to your town in your V mug, that's always a good thing to do.
And I think my face is going to be on one this year, Ariel.
Yes, there is.
Nice.
I got stickers here from Ariel at what was that? Was that at Indie UserCon or was that Minneapolis?
I think it was Indie for those.
Ariel, you and I are making the UserCon circuit together this year, I swear.
I will see you guys in Cincy in September.
Yes. The week and a half after VMworld.
Finally.
Yeah. I have not booked my travel for it yet.
I know none of you guys are allowed to give away anything, but can you give us a category of something that's going to be really big news? Heath, I'm looking at you.
Cloud.
I'll say hit up Kit Colbert session. I think he's going to have a good one. I've seen some good stuff coming from there. And then on my stuff, we're going to save some for Barcelona. I don't know if Nigel's going to save some for Barcelona on your team as well, but
not that I know of. I think Uncle Pat is going to announce things that are important to my BU on Monday. So we'll be there for Monday definitely, and what Pat talks about will definitely be pretty cool. So.
Awesome.
Any other super secret categories, Tim? Come on, you got to give me something.
I got nothing.
Don't violate NDA.
The NDA is strong in this group.
You guys ought to start doing this thing of like giving your name, employee number, and Twitter handle, like you're in the military.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff.
It is going to be such an awesome show.
It is. It's going to be great. I mean, I was chatting with Nigel earlier this week, and I'm like, "Hey, what's this?" Oh, I can't tell you. So even within the team, we don't tell each other.
No, dude, it's
like,
crazy.
I'm really sorry. I can't say anything.
Right.
I won't even say it on my phone in case I'm tapped.
All of the redacted stuff that happens on Twitter, it's funny because you'll see that from somebody on a different team, and you'll like DM them on the side, and it's like, hey, is this one of those redacted that you can't tell me about or that you can tell me about? And sometimes you find out, and there's some of them that it's just like, nah, man, I got nothing. Can't tell you.
Yep.
It's just
Even
not fair.
Company, it's just, you're out.
Yeah.
Apparently, Tyler Gates and Aaron Bewley are wearing matching jackets on Twitter right now.
Oh, thank
Awesome.
God. Hold on.
Did he
Plano
buy the suit? He
Drumline?
must have bought the suit.
Are you kidding me? They got Plano Drumline?
Plano Drumline jackets.
Lucky.
They must have gone to the same school.
I would imagine so. Oh, dude, look at that. Oh, that's a classic. I love that.
Nice.
Is Twitter derailing?
It
All right,
is.
guys. Any last thoughts from anybody? Words of wisdom?
Covered quite a bit in the last hour.
I would say
Yeah.
make a friend.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. I'm trying to be more, like, let's be positive about things. We're all having, crazy times in life. It's good and bad, but try and be positive, make a new friend, and then go outside your comfort zone a little bit. That's what got us to where we are right now, right? Yep. So if that's writing a blog, if that's, tapping someone on the shoulder and not fanboying over someone like a Scott Lowe or, Duncan or someone, but just tapping them and say, hey, can I say hello to you for a second? I love your work, whatever you want to say, but don't make it weird. Also, just try to take the moment and slow it down, right? So slow it down. You don't have to see everything. Try to see what's important to you. Remember, your boss probably paid for you to go here. So like do something that you can bring back to the table at work, even if it's one session that helps you with a project you're working on or something, bring something back with you. Don't make this, all the free drinking that it looks like on Twitter, do something.
Yeah. I think that's a huge takeaway.
Add to that.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I would add to that the, recognize your own value and embrace the value that others have as well. Don't be afraid to have the conversation of, I never heard of this thing before, and it's really cool to me, right? So, because it's one of those things, you see things on Twitter about imposter syndrome, or you see that, like Nigel said, the fanboying, or, don't be afraid to talk to people as genuine, interested human beings and peers about things that you either may be super knowledgeable about or completely lack knowledge on. This is that event. This is that time. And, if you don't know about something, now's the time to learn. And if you super know about something, now's the time to start shouting from the rooftops and helping other people. Pay it forward. Be good to other people. Yeah, absolutely.
Networking is what all the V community is all about. That's why I love it. Everybody's willing to help everybody out and not afraid to reach out.
Yep. And if you're not connected to the V community as a whole, find Ariel and introduce yourself to Ariel, and he will introduce you to everybody else.
That's 100 followers. 5 minutes.
Yes.
If you don't have Twitter and you run into Ariel, you will have Twitter by the end of that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've seen it happen.
I've
I've seen it happen live. Like they started the conversation and then had it by the time they were done talking to him. The weirdest thing.
Yes.
We have live tweeted
without a Twitter.
We have live tweeted Ariel signing somebody up for Twitter at events before.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining.
Thank you, Tony and Britton. It's been a good time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks, guys.
And
thank you, guys.
I'm sure that we'll have some of you guys back for individual episodes to cover more stuff in your area in detail. We have I have a tentatively full schedule for the rest of the year already. It's nuts.
Cool.
So I'm thinking next month I'm gonna get our former local guy Aaron Bolthouse, who's now at SC down in the Chicago area. He's been on board for about 6 months, so we're gonna get the inside information from him about what it's like to drink from the fire hose. So
yeah,
that'll
it
be
never
interesting.
ends.
And on a side note too, Aaron and I are gonna try to do some VGigaCast live streaming Mystery Science Theater 3000 of the opening keynotes. And I'm going to try, Tony, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I want to try to get you to be our boots on the ground field reporter during these things. So we'll cut to you for some live interviews on site, and it'll be great. So we're going to try to do that. Oh, I promised a while back.
No pressure.
I promised a while back that I would have T-shirts for the show. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. We couldn't decide on a logo for the podcast.
So
working on it.
what I will say is, if you're a listener of the show, if you find Tony at VMworld, take a selfie with him, tag the show Twitter handle at VGigaCast, and tweet out some stuff about us, and just let's try to blow up the VGigaCast Twitter account and get that really popular. And if you DM me on that account a shirt size, when we get them, I'll try to send you one. So, but you might have to pay for shipping. But hey. So let's try to get some people on that. Otherwise, thanks to the crew. This has been fun.
Guys. It was awesome.
Everybody wave and say goodbye.
Bye. It's been great having you.
And I don't have cheese coasters for everybody anymore.
Yeah,
yes.
cheese.
The alumni have cheese coasters. We'll work on that. All right, thanks guys. I'm gonna play us out.
This is the only swag I have on my desk.
Nice.
Once again, this was GigaCast episode 19 for Monday, August 20th, 2018. It's our pre-VMworld episode. Thanks to everybody for being here. I'm not going to name you all because it's too many of you. Again, we'll try to do some live broadcasts of the VMworld, and we'll see how that works. Follow the Twitter handle at VGigaCast. I am at VCIXNV. Tony is at ImportCarGuy. We will see y'all later.